now, fans, welcome back to a brand new episode of the Jay All Day NFL Show. Today, we're going to be talking about the Buffalo Bills. In today's video, we're going to be doing a full 7-round mock draft. Hopefully, with the additions they're going to make in this draft, they'll be able to get over that Kansas City Chiefs hump and make it to the Super Bowl next year. I would love to see Josh Allen get himself a ring. All right, guys, I'm very excited about today's video. I think the Bills need to address D-line, cornerback, wide receiver, maybe a safety later in the draft. All right, guys, let's get into the 7-round mock draft for the Buffalo Bills. All right, Bills fans, take a look at the screen right here. This is how the draft fell to us in round 1. If you want more NFL draft content, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, guys. It really does help us get into the algorithm. And I'm sorry if you hear some banging and craziness in the background. They're building a brand new apartment complex right next to my building, so we got to deal with it for the time being. Okay, taking a look at how the board fell to us, there's some guys I really like. Derek Harmon and Darius Alexander stand out to me. I want to go interior defensive line the way the board fell to us. Darius Alexander I really like. 90 overall grade with Toledo, and he's got monster long arms, 34 inches, and he's really good at getting first contact and using them to separate from these offensive linemen. That makes him really effective in the run game. You can see that by that 90 PFF grade. He sticks out his arms. He's able to see where the ball's going and shoot into those gaps. It's very impressive. But he's going to be 25 in August, right? So I don't particularly want to draft a guy in the first round that is 25 years of age. But I love the tape. He was very impressive. He stood out to me more than anyone else with that arm length. He was really impressive. Another guy I really like, probably one of the most well-rounded interior defensive linemen in this draft that's not Mason Graham or Kenny Grant, right? So I really like Derek Harmon. He's got good size, great hand usage, quick to attack with those hands that gets the separation he needs from those offensive linemen to get in there, rush the passer, and also get after it in the run game. He's pretty much a guy that's really good at rushing the passer, but also doesn't really give up much in the run game. I like that. The pass rush win rate, over 17%, is crazy good. And the true pass rush grade, over 91, incredibly impressive, right? Definitely a little bit better of a pass rusher than a run defender, right? But 5 sacks this year, 7 hits and 43 hurries, 50 hits and hurry, guys. That's really impressive. And you can tell he played all over A gap, B gap, over the tackle, played a little bit all over the line. Trends are Chiefs, Vikings, and Buffalo Bills. And if you look at the analysis, like I said, he's got the good arm length, competitive player. I like that he plays with this vicious tenacity, right? I really like that. I would like to see him get a little bit, better with his lower half and not get pushed around as much. But I think he's a really good player, and he's got a high IQ, right, for a defensive lineman. I think at 6'5", 310, he could probably add a little bit of size to that frame as well. Derek Harmon goes to the Buffalo Bills in round 1. All right, guys, we're up in the second round. Pick 56 overall. We're also drafting at 62 overall. No third-round pick, but we got 2 fourths, 3 fifths, and 2 sixth-round picks. So a lot of different ways we can go in this draft. Taking a look at the way the board fell, Quinshon Judkins looking pretty juicy at 56 overall. But I also really like the cornerbacks left, Darian Porter and Ben Morrison. And for me, guys, you got to go watch the tape. Ben Morrison was so incredibly impressive in 2023 and 2022. His 2024 was cut short by injuries, kind of playing through some hip stuff. He got that addressed in the offseason. He was still really impressive. No touchdowns given up, only a 58 rate. So it's right around where he was in 2023, giving up a 60 rate. And in 2022, he was incredible, 29 rate. I think even in 2023, that hip was kind of giving him issues, right? He's an excellent player, man. Good in coverage, solid against the run. You can't really look at these grades for 2024 because he was hurt and playing hurt, but the tape is some of the best I've seen, right? He's being mocked to the Bills, to the Eagles. The analysis is, high IQ, willing a run defender. He's got really good hips, in my opinion, right? He's just always in good position. And he doesn't really bite on anything. He's just hip and hip with these wide receivers all the time and has the ability to make plays. I love Ben Morrison, 6 foot, 190 pounds. If this guy does not get hurt, he's a first-round pick in my opinion. And for the Bills to get him in the middle of the second round, I love this pick. Ben Morrison goes to the Buffalo Bills at 56 overall, right? Judkins just went to the Commanders at 61. That stinks for us, right? So now we're up in the third round, right? We could go linebacker here. We could go edge defender to bring some depth to that room for sure. I'm taking a look at who's left. Arante Ursary, pretty solid player. I don't know if the Bills really need the depth right now. Dylan Sampson's on the board. I do like James Cook, but he's getting a little bit older for sure, right? And an edge defender could be really interesting in this spot too. Just add a little depth to that room, right? They did bring in Bosa, but he's an older guy, right? So I don't love, Joey Bosa long term. He just can't stay healthy. He's a great player, but we'll have to see. Kyle Kennard on the board. Josiah Stewart. I do love myself some Josiah Stewart, man. Very impressive player. Got good juice. 6'1", 245. Very, very impressive guy. The Bills run more of a 4-3 defense, right? And some of these smaller edge defenders, I don't know if they really fit the scheme. Stewart at 6'1", 245. And then we got Kennard coming in at 6'5", 254. He makes a little bit more sense in this scheme to me. All right, who else is on the board? Trevion Henderson is on the board too. That could be a really interesting pick, man. Bringing in a bell cow back, right? I don't hate that idea. Bringing in another offensive lineman. Chris Paul's on the board too. They could definitely add some depth to that linebacker room. Chris Paul is one of the best linebackers in the country this year. And with linebackers, especially the trend I've been seeing lately, is a high missed tackle rate. His is one of the best in all of college football. Only 4.5% against the biggest programs in the country, right? So I could see us going there in the third round. I mean, end of the second round, my bad. So, because we don't have a third round pick. So, is it too early or do we just go edge? Kyle Kennard definitely can make some sense for the Buffalo Bills, right? Kennard shows a good understanding of how to win as a pass rusher. He's got good footwork. Very similar frame to Bosa as well. Taller guy. I think he's big enough to set the edge. So I'm going Kyle Kennard in the second round. Okay, now, Bills fans. We went Derek Harmon, Ben Morrison, Kyle Kennard in the second round. Now, I really want to look at wide receiver. Pat Bryant is on the board. A guy like Nick Nash, I really like. Jalen Lane, I like as well. Pat Bryant from Illinois, really, really good player. 6'3", 200 pounds. Could definitely be an X type of wide receiver. Very athletic. One of my favorite players in this draft, right? Because he's got above the rim type of catcher. He is great at going up and getting the ball. He's a true X wide receiver. With Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman was okay last year, but bringing in another wide receiver definitely makes some sense. Kobe Hudson from UCF, solid wide receiver, 6'1", 200, but I like Pat Bryant the best out of who's left. Torrey Horton, pretty good player as well, right? 6'3", 185, a little more slender of a frame, right? But very, very athletic guy. Fundamentally, he's a good blocker. Long stride helps him get ground when he's going after the ball. The drop rate under 4%. Very, very, very impressive. So you can't really go wrong with any of these guys. Pat Bryant probably played a little bit better of competition. He was okay. That drop rate, under 2%, and the contested catch rate around 70%. You just can't pass this kind of talent up. I'm going Pat Bryant in the fourth round, selection 109. Now, in the fourth round, 132 overall. Man, Baishal Tutin is on the board here. He's an unbelievable talent. Fastest running back at the combine. I think he ran in the 4.3s. He was unbelievably impressive. That elusive rating at 143. Chris Sims had him like number 3 overall on his big board. So I'm going Baishal Tutin in the fourth round. getting an excellent running back. We went 3 defensive players, now 2 offensive players. Just giving this Bills team some really quickness on the outside to get the edge. I like that as well. All right, in the 5th round, guys, I'm looking at offensive line depth. Could be very interesting here for me. Adding another running back to this room could make some sense as well, right? I do like some safeties later in the draft. A guy like Malachi Moore is on the board here. I don't want to overdraft him, but I'm keeping my eye on Malachi Moore, bringing in a safety, right? Bringing in some Tyler Cooper from Minnesota, good interior offensive lineman. Logan Brown is a guy I really, really, really like. I always like bringing in depth to the offensive line. This guy gave up no sacks in his entire collegiate career. Missed a lot of time in the last 2 years. You know, he played 11 games this year, so he's got to stay healthy, right? So we got to check out the medicals. But man, when he does play, he's extremely impressive. He's got great length, 6'6", 315. Really, really impressive. But linebacker is definitely a position of need for us. Lindenberg from Minnesota, Stutzman, and Higgins are all on the board. I think I like Lindenberg's really, really talented player. Missed tackle rate at 13%. I don't love that. Stutzman is a little bit better at 12%. And Jay Higgins, the best in the business. I like that he's really good in coverage as well. I'm going to go Jay Higgins, the linebacker, here in the 5th round. All right, Buffalo Bills fans, we're up the very next pick, 170 overall. When you're drafting in the 5th and 6th round, you just want to add depth to your roster, no matter where it is, whether it's at edge. A guy like John Joyner could make some sense here, 6'5", 265. You know, I like that size for an edge defender, man. He got some juice, you know. He's got 12 sacks over the last 2 years. Pass rush run rate pretty good. You know, bringing in another edge guy, John Joyner could make some sense. I do like Logan Brown, Denzel Burke, the cornerback. You know, he was really, I got to take another corner. I think I'm going to go Denzel Burke in the 5th round, 170 overall. You know, I just want to add some depth to that cornerback room. You know, I do like Ben Morrison a lot, but I want to bring in all different types of body lengths. 6'1", 193. He's got good eyes, good feel, bump and run corner. Denzel Burke at 170 overall. Now, 173 overall. A lot of picks here right in the middle, right? I just want to bring in the best players available, right? I want to just bring in good players that are worth taking flyers on at this point in the draft. We're drafted in the 5th round, 173 overall. We got some edge help. We got some linebacker help. We got some cornerback help. Bringing in another edge could be interesting for us as well, right? We'll have to see how this draft board plays out, you know. Let's check out edge. See what that's looking like. You know, Joey Bosa is going to be on a 1-year deal, and I don't expect him to be here the whole season healthy, so I'm going to draft 2 edges. I love John Joyner. He's got the good size, 6'5", 265. I think he's big enough, you know, probably to set the edge. We'll have to see, you know, when we take a look at Kyle Kennard, 6'5", 254. I like these big, long guys because they could put on a little bit of size. I do like Fidel Diggs as well. Another guy scouted that I like, 6'5", 261. Definitely a little bit bigger of a body frame than John Joyner. But I do like him. Drafted him in this spot. Him being available in the 5th round. I love it. All right, now in the 6th round, 177 overall, Bills fans. Logan Brown is still on the board. I definitely want to go offensive line. It's always just good to bring in offensive linemen. And my favorite guy on the board right now is Jack Nelson. 3-year starter at left tackle. Good size, 6'7", 316. You know, one of my favorite players. You know, he definitely grabs a little bit and gets some penalties. But, you know, I think at the NFL level to be able to coach him up, I just like his frame. And it's between him and Logan Brown when I go offensive tackle. You know, Williams and Jones aren't really for me. Logan Brown was really, really effective this year when he played, 6'6", 315. I just want to bring in a little bit of depth. Man, is it between Jack Nelson or Logan Brown? Oh, man, I don't know. Logan Brown's a really, really talented guy. And I think he's got the tools to be extremely, extremely effective. But Jack Nelson's just a more consistent player. So in the 6th round, I'm going to go Jack Nelson because he could play guard as well. He could swing all over the offensive line. All right, guys. We got interior defensive line, corner, edge, wide receiver. We got a running back. We got our linebackers, our corner, another edge defender, a tackle. Here, I want to go safety. And I hope my guy's still on the board, and he is. Malachi Moore. I love Malachi Moore. He's way better than all these other players. Being overlooked by PFF for sure. Alabama safety, 84 overall grade this year against the best teams in college football. I love Malachi Moore in the 6th round, pick 206 overall. All right, guys, I'm really happy with the way this draft turned out, for sure. PFF doesn't really agree, but drafting a wide receiver makes total sense. So these PFF grades are kind of stupid, so just don't even think about that, right? And he's in the 4th round. I love that pick. They need linebacker help as well. Derek Harmon, Ben Morrison, Kyle Kennard. We got Ja Joyner in the 5th round. They like that pick. The Denzel Burke pick they like. And here I want depth. I want depth at safety, depth at the tackle position. You build teams through the trenches, right? Look at what the Eagles were doing. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 selections in the trenches. I like that. And Ben Morrison, I'm telling you guys, go watch the tape. You're going to be delighted with what you see. One of my favorite players in this draft. Let me know in the comments, Bills fans. Do you like this draft? Do you not like this draft? I would love to know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.